Just after arriving in Canada 25 years ago, I met MARILYN BYERS, an amazing woman who I later worked with on several projects. In this video, I'm going to tell MARILYN's story with some help from MARILYN herself.
My name is MARILYN BYERS, and I'm representing PFLAG, Parents, Families and Friends of Lesbians and Gays. That's what it stands for. Why do you think I'd be involved in this? Yes.
Because someone close to you is gay?
Yes, because someone close to me is gay. Now you'll see my son in the next slide with his partner. Kevin came out to me as being gay 16 years ago. What it caused me to do was to be an activist for gay rights. And so what I did was I believed in love and acceptance for all people, and we had a fundraiser. And here you can see Edna and Susan. And we were doing this fundraiser to raise money to support gay and lesbian people. And went beyond that, because with the committee, we got a government grant for $45,000. And with that, we put up billboard signs and helped schools to teach. And one of the signs said, "Someone you know and love is gay." A little side issue of that is that a mayor in one of the cities said, "Well, those signs are too big. Shouldn't it say someone you know and love has cancer?" Well, he came around. He saw beyond that. So then there was a sign that said, and you can see it up here now, "Being gay is not a crime, bashing is."
And so it was that PFLAG York Region was born, hosting monthly support meetings, giving workshops, presentations and speeches to corporations, churches, clubs, and frequently in high schools. A few years later, in 2002, MARILYN heard about an issue in neighbouring Durham region involving a Catholic student whose school would not allow him to take his boyfriend to the school prom. MARILYN didn't hesitate to get actively involved by joining a coalition to support Mark Hall.
The principal said, "Mark, you're welcome to come to the prom, but you're not welcome to come with your boyfriend, because he's your boyfriend."
Homosexuals, no problem.
We do not.
But he can't go to prom.
He can't dance.
Let her speak. Let her speak.
We do not accept the lifestyle of a homosexual or something that...
Did you know it isn't a lifestyle, though?
You got it.
Okay, I'll explain that after.
Nor do we...
They teach you in grade 12 of morality that there's absolutely nothing wrong with homosexuality, and yet they contradict what they teach. I believe that the school board is just misinterpreting what they were taught. I believe in a God that loves everybody.
The thing is, he knows who he is, and he's not afraid to be who he is. But with other students, they're afraid to come out. They're leading a double life, a hidden life. They'll come back on the weekend and say they were with the opposite sex, whereas they weren't really, because they want to cover up. And it's sad that it has to be like that. And that is why 1/3 of all completed teenage suicides is a result of an issue around sexual orientation.
And forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
School, to some people, is a second home. Being rejected by your own school is very heartbreaking, and in some schools, this type of homophobia has led to suicide. I think it is time that you understand that your decisions obviously affect more than just one person at this particular school. I plead with you tonight to reconsider your decision because of the many supporters. But more than that, I believe in justice, and I know that God loves me for who I am and not who I hide. Thank you.
We have a month from beginning to end to get Mark to the prom. How do we do that? We've sought what's called an injunction, which is an order prior to trial based on limited evidence, because you only have a limited time to put the materials forward, to enable Mark to go.
Say no. With the privilege, with the right of providing publicly funded education comes the responsibility to obey the fundamental law of Canada. The fundamental law of Canada includes equality rights. It includes non-discrimination. And the Catholic Church and the school board may not anchor itself in 19th century values and flout the fundamental laws of this country and cloak themselves in the constitutional exemption. That's our position. No doubt their position will be different.
I write to you out of the deepest respect for you and your church, but your church is very wrong It is wrong because it sees your sexuality as not normal. This is amazing. But when you say gay priest, he's a gay priest of the Anglican Church. That's
That was sent to him at the school.
You're going to be world famous. This is making history.
I know, it was funny because yesterday when my mom was watching the 6 o'clock news, she's like, oh yeah, it'll be on 6:30 for the local news or whatever. No, it was on at like 6:15 because now I'm international. So
National, wow.
I was like,
Yeah, really, eh?
You're moving up the food chain.
Yeah, I know.
Mark, this is an Egal Canada Community Award, the first such award that we have presented, to you for your courage and integrity in advancing equality rights for gay, lesbian and bisexual youth.
So to me, sex is not the whole issue, whereas the Catholic Church seems to be focusing in on sex. And I think it's important to realize this. It's important to be educated.
Yeah, that's him.
If you're going to come to their school, you have to play by their rules.
Okay, well, I chose to go to the school when I was 13 years old, and 13-year-olds don't really know a lot about Catholic teaching, and I felt since they were Catholics, they'd accept me for, who I was and everything.
They're entitled to their private religious beliefs, but what they're not entitled to do is discriminate against gays and lesbians in the publicly funded school system. That's what they're doing.
In his final submissions to the judge, Mark Hall's lawyer argued holding dance is a non-denominational activity. David Corbett says there is no sacrament of prom.
Okay, so now you wait, I guess.
Yes, we wait until the judge issues his decision. He's told...
Larry?
We won.
Stand by.
Yes!
Yep.
Great. Great. Oh my God. I missed it.
Oh, God.
Hi.
Mark?
Yes?
You're going to the prom. Hands down, clear victory. I've got 15 pages of reasons here. I'm not going to read them all to you.
Okay.
Do you want me to read you the conclusion?
Okay.
The idea of equality speaks to the conscience of all humanity, the dignity and worth that is due each human being. Mark Hall is a Roman Catholic Canadian trying to be himself.
I've had a lot of people on like the internet and phone calls and everything, and they're just saying how proud they are of me, and I think that this is just another step towards their equality as well as mine.
Around the same time, Marilyn actively supported the legalisation of same-sex marriage, attending all of the equal marriage for same-sex couples court proceedings. This led to legal recognition of same-sex marriages in Ontario in June 2003. Other provinces and territories followed suit until in July 2005 federal law gave same-sex couples the legal right to marry everywhere in Canada. In 2006, Marilyn moved to Egypt and then Mexico to engage in teaching assignments, but she returned in 2008 and immediately resumed her activism. Several of the clips you've seen earlier were recorded when I accompanied Marilyn on one of her many visits to schools around the region in March 2009. On these visits, she never travelled light. You may have noticed her collection of books and the many information boards in the background. She had a massive collection of resources that filled a rented storage area as well as every corner of her apartment. They were even stacked high in a beautiful jacuzzi bath that I don't think she was ever able to use. And she took boxes of these resources everywhere.
The use of the rainbow as a sign of diversity, inclusiveness, and hope has a long history, going back to the rainbow as a symbol of biblical promise. When God used the rainbow as a sign to Noah of God's presence and steadfastness. We like the red candle, which represents life. We like the orange candle, which represents healing. We like the yellow candle, which represents sunlight. We like the green candle, which represents nature. We like the blue candle, which represents harmony. We like the violet candle, which represents spirit. For us, the rainbow colors remind us that ours is a diverse community with varied backgrounds, interests, and gifts.
In 2009, Marilyn and I worked on a grant application which provided $50,000 to PFLAG York Region. It enabled PFLAG to obtain educational materials, help launch a new publicity campaign, and also connect the gay community with local businesses. Marilyn retired from her PFLAG role in 2012, but continued to attend occasional LGBT events while she was able. But sadly, Marilyn passed away, aged 88, on December the 23rd, 2024. I owe a lot to Marilyn for inspiring me, for motivating me to engage in much of my own work, sharing her dedication and compassion, and for being an amazingly energetic LGBT ally and a valued friend. It's incredible to think that she did all of this work over almost 20 years of her retirement after completing her career as a full-time teacher.